Last time we looked at this belt, I was shaping up the ends for the buckles. So what I've done so far, as I said in the last video, I've joined the two. I've just used some glue in there and I've put a couple of staples in there. And as you can probably see, I've just gone through, got some of my blue paint, and I've just coloured it all blue because she said she wanted the blue belt. It's fairly dry to touch now. Gloves again, because we're actually going to use some of the antiquing gel. The one I did before didn't really work out too well because I used a fairly light colour, so I'm going to use a dark brown this time. And just as I did with the logo, basically putting it on, rubbing it in so it takes into all the grooves and nooks and crannies, using a bit of sponge. Down that in and just rubbing it in. I don't want it to take too much of the blue out. So around a circle, just making sure I get it into the little nooks and crannies. I want it to be fairly quick because I still want it to be blue. More. So I'm going fairly quick because I don't want it to stain too much. I just want it to pick up the accents, fill in some of the background, and still leave it as blue. That was Charlie, by the way, just walked past, our resident poodle. Say hi, Charlie. I know, she's gone around the corner. Alright, so in there like that. Don't forget the edges. I'm not going to do the back because that's nice and blue already, and she wanted a blue belt. This way she can see what colour it was, and so that seems to take it in all right. And as before, a little bit of paper towel just to take it off again. Just gently rubbing so it doesn't take off. Just takes off the top layer. Leaving it blue and leaving the gel down in the nooks. See if I can get a bit closer, you can see what it's done. Sort of just, the blue's there and the darkness goes into the background, just highlighting the pattern. So I might actually give it another coat through, just see if I can get it slightly darker. Starting again, just in circles, getting into nooks and crannies. Because remember, we've got to have to put some finishing gel, not finishing fluid on this as well, and that tends to take some of the colour out anyway. So if it gets a bit too dark at the moment, that's when we fix it up. Alright, now we get our paper towel again. Just gently wiping it off. Hey Charlie, how you doing? Say hello, Charlie. Alright, let's go let that to dry. As you can see, this time it's sort of taken a bit darker in there. It's still left it blue. You can sort of see it's taken in, the background has picked up some of the dark stain, and I think it's quite a nice look. I hope she likes it too. Alright, as I said, I'm just going to let that dry and come back for the leather finisher. See ya. Okay, back inside again. I waited till the antiquing gel had dried, and I've also gone over and put some of the finishing gel over. Sorry about that. Super sheen, and see it's got a nice little shine to it there. You can see I've started on putting the diamantes in on the join. And so what I'm going to do for this video is just show you just the process of putting the diamantes in. After that, basically it's just putting the hardware on, and that's it. The belt's finished. So let's go ahead. So what I've got these little diamantes. They're just, as I said before, the same as the ones we have on that collar, and they're just a stud, just a rivet. They've got a back and a front, and they just rivet together. You've got a tool here for hitting them and closing them over, so they each half grasp onto each other, and a little anvil. Normally the anvil's just metal, but because there's little diamantes in there, I've put a little bit of padding in there, because I have had a couple of them crack because I've hit them too hard. So let me zoom in a bit and we'll have a look at the process. Okay, so that's probably the best I can set up the camera so you can get nice and close. As you can see, I've already put some holes in the middle of each of the flowers. But if you look at the stem on these studs, oops, if I can pick one up, they're rather thick. So first thing I'm going to do is just make some of these holes a little bigger, using the small end. I'm just going to stretch it through. Maybe a little bit more. Just enough so that the tail of the stud actually can push through. Maybe a bit more. I mean, ideally I should have punched the holes a bit bigger using a bigger punch, but alright, so that's big enough now. Just want to push that through. Push it down as fairly much as you can, and then basically just turn it over. And you see the tail just sort of nips through there. We'll get a little anvil and whack it under so that the diamante, well, the bit of plastic, shh, don't tell her. And then these little caps, you can see that there, just pops over the top, and basically they've got, where's the camera, that way, a little opening there, and as you hit them they grab around to the top of this and they keep it together. So it's a pretty simple process. The hardest bit is to get these tiny things in the right spot with my hulking big hands. And then on the tool itself, you got a flat end for where you're going to hit it, and then on this side, just a little concave, just slightly. Place it over the top, and my trusty mallet again. A couple of nice little taps, because you don't want to hit it too hard. If they were metal studs, not a problem, but I don't really want the plastic jewel itself to break or crack. So just little taps, and as you can see, it closes over, and there's the diamante right in the middle of the flower. So I've only got one, two more of those to do. As I said, because I went ahead and did the join with the Diamantes, and because the original holes were the wrong size, they're a little bit out. I mean, it's not that tidy, but as I normally say, a blind man would be pleased to see it. So let me go ahead and do this other two. 1, 2, 3. Make the hole bigger again. Grab another Diamante. Oh, not quite enough. One of the reasons I don't use my next punch up is it's a little bit too big for these, and you want it to be snug, because even if the back comes off, you don't want the jewel to come out. Push them down, bring it through, line it all up, handle underneath, concave side. Whoops, might need to put a cap on just to line it up on top. As I said, this is the hardest bit, trying to get it to stay there before you hit it. And with that, the camera fell off. Yay! Okay, camera fell off there. I don't know if you saw that, but anyway. And then the third one. Again, strong hands and leather crafting go together. That's not really true. There's so many tools and things that help you do it now that it is a relatively simple pastime. I shouldn't say that, because then more people will start doing it, and I'll have more competition, won't I? As I said in the last time, I mean, if you are interested in coming along, of having a look and learning a bit more about it and see how I nut things out, hit the subscribe button. And there's the last one done. Alright, so now I'm going to go on to putting on the hardware. I've also got to make a keeper, because obviously when the tag comes through the buckle, there needs to be a belt keeper on the other side there. I would normally have, with the buckle, got a silver one, will do it nicer, but I don't have one, so I'm going to see if I can make one out of leather. So that's probably the next thing I'll do after I put the buckle on. So give me a few seconds, I'll get myself sorted to put this buckle on.